on my cash stack. High yields on stable coins, yeah, that's where my bag at. All I really need is Wi-Fi, get money on DeFi, mega cash on MetaMask. You better run when the runners run, show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum, markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton, crypto, yeah, I got some. You better run when the runners run, you better run when the runners run.
All right, welcome in everyone. The runners are here, Michael and Ricardo, and today we are doing our due diligence and checking this business out. We've already joined, but we want to make sure we bring to you guys all the details. So we were fortunate enough to get on the line with the CEO, John McKillip. And John, thanks for joining us today. And we're excited to learn about how we are literally flipping the entire banking industry and giving the power back to the people.
Mike, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with both you and Ricardo, and Kevin is just now joining us as well here. So he's popping on the line here also. But I'm excited to spend some time with you, further explain our business and help you with any due diligence you all are doing on the company.
Perfect. And I'll just, I already said, when we first met I was very skeptical of when I heard this, because we hear companies all the time say, we're going to get a debit card in August. And, it ends up, then they say, oh, it's December. Oh, then it's next year. So can you just confirm there are cards out now from Tranzact, people are using them, and people are getting paid 100% of what they're spending in Z-Bucks?
Be happy to. So I'm holding one right here. This is our Tranzact card, Visa card. It's that same Visa card that you have in your wallet today. There's about 1,400 out there floating around. They're being used. People are charging on it. They're getting their Z-Bucks. The system is accruing their Z-Bucks. They're paying their bills. Everything is working just fine with the card. It's not something on paper that we hope to be able to do. It is done. It's in play. You can immediately go online into the bank, see the statement from the bank, and be able to look at all your transactions one by one and how you earned your Z-Bucks and all of that. So this is in play right now.
Awesome. And today, guys, I'm really just going to hit on, like, when I first looked at this, the objections I had. We're not going to go into like all the details. There's lots of videos that we'll have to show you guys that. But John, my next question was, who are the founders of this? And are they real? Are they legit? Are they just some 20-year-old guys who are just throwing this together with a bunch of money? And I sat down and watched an interview with the founders, Richard Smith and Peter Rancy. That's about 2 hours long. And my mind was just blown the entire time of how they answered all these questions and their background. So maybe can you just briefly kind of explain their background and how much expertise and legitimacy it brings to this space with what they're doing with Tranzact?
I'd be happy to. One other thing I'd like to point out to you is Peter Rancy, one of the two co-founders I'm talking about in a moment. He just got done doing probably a 30 or 40 minute radio broadcast. I think it was called America Online or America something. I'll get you that link. And the banking community and everybody who watched that, they were in awe listening to Peter explain about the bank, the structure, the strategic application, the reasons why. That whole 30 or 40 minute conversation was 100% about the banks and how we interact with the banks and the value proposition that we bring each other. So I'll make sure to get that link to you as well, and probably some things you can pull out of it. So there are two co-founders of the company. One is named Richard Smith. Richard has got over 40 years of e-commerce background, and he will share with you that his first e-commerce project was way before, he will say, before there was even Yahoo, before Google, before everything else, before DOS even, where you had to know exactly where to go to online itself. And that's with Earthlink and America Online, what was it? AOL, America Online.
Yep.
I think it was the name of it. And you had to know exactly where to go. And he sold stores or, doorways, and he did a lot of sales on that. And it was very, very successful in the early days and has a lot of contacts. And, with those contacts, all those contacts do is open up doors, and they're able, and to the decision makers who you can present something to for them to make a decision. So with him on the e-commerce side, and then Peter Rancy, who's Australian, who has lived in the States now for the last 25 years. He's 45 years senior banking, never worked for a bank. Will tell you he's not a banker at all, but he's been in just about every single one of the boardrooms and dealt with some of the largest executives and some of the largest banks around the world with strategic planning, customer acquisition, merger acquisition, doing a lot with those banks. And primarily here in the States has developed some incredible contacts in the state regulatory component, because we have a lot of connections or contracts ourselves with community banks, which are the banks that help to issue this debit Visa card that we're talking about. And it was because of those connections that doors opened, that people listened to what we were doing. And we solve a pretty significant problem today with banks, especially those smaller community banks, minority-owned banks, that many of them are so underfunded in America today. We help to add tier one capital to them, which allows them to now go to the Fed and be able to borrow money as well. So, between those two individuals, they came up with this business model, put it into play. And when I heard about it 2 years ago, I was in awe. And every quarter they were keeping me up to speed. And in October of last year, I said, okay, it's time. They had called me. I said, you guys are about 6 months out now from a pre-launch. And I stepped on board and been here for the last 5 or 6 months now, helping put some of the final pieces together. And this coming weekend on Saturday, May 20th, company has this pre-launch here in Park City, Utah, that we're very excited about.
Yeah, I wish I could go to that. We've been traveling around a bunch, and it's with my schedule, it won't work out. But I'm excited to see, the updates and hear from people there. So it's like it's just, when I saw this interview, it's like, oh, it's the perfect marriage. We have one guy with the banking industry background and all those connections. Then you have the other guy with the e-commerce, drop shipping, with all the connections to get, the import and exports of the goods that people want to buy. Then it started to all make sense to me. My next question was, okay, so just in case you guys haven't watched all the videos on this, which you need to, so you're going to get this debit card. You're going to go out and buy and spend just like you always do. Like right now I'm using credit cards. I'm getting, maybe 2-3% on what I'm spending, maybe some travel points or something, but nothing major. So now I'm going to go out and do everything I always did. I'm going to buy gas, my groceries, go out to dinner, even, pay my electric bill, whatever it is. When that card swipes, let's say I go out, have $100 dinner, I'm going to get 100 Z bucks to spend in, I guess what's called the Z store, I believe.
Z Club.
And
correct.
my next question was, okay, well, what's going to be in this Z store? Is it going to be a bunch of garbage nobody wants? Just some chintzy stuff. So can you maybe go into, the vision that you guys have for what's going to be in the store and how we're going to get, from what I've heard, how we're going to get Nike shoes essentially 50% off? How are we going to get, MacBook computers using our Z-Bucks?
Be happy to. So let me break that down into two areas. Let me talk about the Z Club first. Then let me share with you how we actually do it. Here, let me share both those components. So firstly, when you look at the Z Club is meant to be all those same products that you can buy in any given day, whether it's in Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Target, all those same products, all those same manufacturers, they're all available to be uploaded into any e-commerce site out there. You can go create an e-commerce site. You can go and you can upload, those products, those manufacturers. It takes some time, and there are companies out there that will specialize where you can go to them, and they maybe have contracts with, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of those similar products that they help you to upload into your site itself. Connectivity right into the manufacturers themselves, and you're up and you're going. So it takes some time, it takes some effort, but it is very doable. So the kinds of products that we're going to have, quite frankly, are those exact same brands that you're accustomed to. It's the Nike, it's the Adidas, it's the Callaways, it's the, TaylorMades, it's the, name any kind of an appliance or men's suits maybe that you have that you want to have, or jewelry, right? Or, women's high level purses and everyday kind of purses and clothing and everything you can go buy on Amazon today or Home Depot and Lowe's and so on and so forth, you're going to be able to find in our store. So when our store first launches, you're going to find tens of thousands of products, and that's happening this weekend. that are uploaded. And every couple of days you go back, you're going to see more and more and more and more uploaded. You're not going to see any of those products that's, chintzy or something that you would never go buy yourself. Again, I can't overemphasize this. So same brands that you're currently getting today, you're never going to go in there and find something that is undervalued, because again, it's the same products and services. So people always ask, how does this work? How can somebody go swipe this debit card? You give them dollar for dollar Z-Bucks. They go into your Z Club and they can buy a product for this exact same product that maybe here's a pair of Adidas shoes selling for $100 in Amazon, a pair of Adidas shoes, and you can sell that exact same pair of shoes for $50. How is it that you're able to go do that? And you can do that over and over and over again. Pick the product and you're going to get 50% off, right? So it's actually quite simple. So what we did was we created a company called Tranzact Card. And Tranzact Card has a number of agreements with community banks out there around the United States. A lot of these community banks are underfunded. They need tier one capital. So what we do is that we bring on board thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, we believe millions of customers that will open up an account to fund an account, because they will use this Visa debit card. So there's money in that account. When they swipe the card, there are funds in that account to be able to pay for the transaction. And those accounts are opened up with these community banks that we have agreements with. So what you have is these tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, yes, millions of customers who are putting funds into an account to be able to use their debit card on a daily basis. All those funds count as tier one capital for those community banks. They're now, where many of them are underfunded, are now at that correct asset base value, or there is increasing, or they go beyond where they need to be. That allows them to go into the Fed to be able to borrow money, and that's how they make money, by issuing loans when they go borrow money from the Fed. It solves a tremendous problem today in this country. So then that bank will then issue the customer this Visa debit card. The bank is authorized by Visa to issue these cards. It's a debit card by a bank that's here in the United States that's fully FDIC insured, like any other bank that's out there. Money is fully protected. And then you get this card and you go out there and you swipe this card. And every time you use this card, you get a dollar for dollar Z-Buck. You spend $100 on a meal, you get $100 here. And what happens, you can immediately go into your back office and say, okay, you went to the grocery store, you went to the auto dealership, you went to the doctor, and this is how much money you spent, and this is how many Z-Bucks you have. And it accrues right there immediately online in real time, dollar for dollar. Wow. You then go into the Z Club, which is like any of those same products again that you're going to get on Amazon or anywhere else. And you sign into it and it shows you how many Z-Bucks you have right there, how many you have accrued to be able to play with. So we use an example of this Adidas tennis shoe. So here, if you go to Amazon, and here's a pair of Adidas shoes that they sell for $100. Amazon pays somewhere around $46 for that shoe. Adidas has their, 2.5, 3 times markup in there. Amazon is happy to sell that shoe for $100 and have a cost of around $46. So if someone goes in there and they purchase that shoe, Amazon, like Walmart, they're going to keep those funds for 90 days. They're going to use that money to build their business to where they need to do. Then 90 days later, they're going to go pay the manufacturer. What we do is something really simple. I can go in and you can look up, you can find that exact same shoe, because we're not overstock.com. We're not last year's inventory. It's everything. I just can't impress upon you enough is all of those exact same products in real time that you would see anywhere else. And you can go on our site and drill down and look at shoes and Adidas, and there's that exact same model, exact same shoe that sells for $100. And it says, look it, the shoe's $100, but you can use as many as 50 Z-Bucks to buy that shoe down. So now you can use a Z-Buck to buy it down, and we sell that shoe for $50. Well, how can I do that? Well, because remember the example I gave of Amazon. Amazon's cost was $46.
Right.
They sold it for $100. So our cost is $46 too. I allow you to buy down any profit that I make, because my business model, I don't care. I don't need to make any money in the Z Club. So you can buy the product, the price of that shoe down to $50. You then buy the shoe, and I send $46 immediately to the manufacturer. They get paid before it's even shipped. They love that business model. We'll make a few points for the company to run our operations and do what we need to be able to go do. You bought a shoe that an hour ago you could have spent $100 for on Amazon, that right now you can spend $50 for it here. right? And then what happens when you run out of Z-Bucks, you go back out in the community again, and you use this card as much as you can. Grocery store, doctor's office, anywhere you go, you get dollar for dollar Z-Buck on this. And every time you swipe the card, that's where the company makes money, and that's where the digital branch offices, that's where the distributors make money. Because every time people swipe the card, you make a piece of income off of every single charge that they have on that card. You earn a piece of that charge back into your pocket. So swipe, swipe, swipe. We make money, you make money. They get Z-Bucks, they go into the Z Club, they burn the Z-Bucks down, they get 50% off on those exact same products. They come back around again and they go swipe some more. So this is really cool because this is an ecosystem. And in the ecosystem itself, if we were to take a Z-Buck out of the ecosystem, there's no value to it outside. There's no value to it. But if you keep it in the ecosystem, it's worth $1 for dollar. So all these Z-Bucks that we give you are tax free.
Oh, wow.
You're not charged tax on those Z-Bucks because there's no value to it outside. So you know what? Mike just got this now, and so did Ricardo. Because watch this. Say you go spend $100,000 on your debit card. I give you 100,000 Z-Bucks that you can immediately go in and go buy down dollar for dollar against all those other products and services that are out there. But you used a virtual currency to buy down the dollar for dollar. You got $100,000 match that you paid no taxes on that you used to buy down the cost of other products and services within the marketplace. And then you go back around again. So not only do I give you dollar for dollar, but it's a tax-free environment because there's no value to it outside of it.
And that's why, I used to use a crypto card that paid me in like Bitcoin and cryptos until I found out, oh shoot, I'm getting taxed on that. So I stopped doing that. Okay, that just blew my mind. Okay, one question. Okay, I have two questions. So the first one is, when I buy in the Z Club, can I use my Tranzact card again for that?
You can, but you won't get Z-Bucks on it.
No Z-Bucks on that. Okay.
Yeah, so you will not earn Z-Bucks in the system. That's where you burn them.
That might get a little too crazy.
Yeah, it was. We thought about it in the beginning, but then every time you would not be using any of your Z-Bucks, you'd continue to accrue them because you would get everything back that you spent.
Okay, and did I hear you say at the beginning of that the store would be opening at the conference on May 20th?
Yeah, so actually that's what we had said. It's going to be, we're announcing at the conference, is opening June 5th. June 5th, the Z Club will be open and people can go into it, make their transactions, buy product, ship it. And don't forget the flash sales too, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have.
Okay, hold on that flash sale. Okay, so this is even better than I thought, guys, because I thought I'd heard on a Zoom or something that the Z store wasn't coming until like August or September. So to find out it's coming in June is even, you guys are, under promising, over delivering with what's going on here. Maybe just real quick, John, talk about the flash sales, because to me, the Z Club sounds great enough, but when I heard about the flash sales, I was like totally blown away.
Yeah, so in fact, I'm gonna show you a picture real quick, if I may. I'm gonna go pop a picture up here for you. I'm gonna go and okay, come on, there we go. Let me go share here. So not only do you get to be able to go into the club and able to use Z-Bucks, we're going to do flash sales. So we'll go out and communicate. We'll say, hey, this Friday, we're going to have a number of products that we're going to do a flash sale on. Your cash is no good here. So we may go out and buy 2,000 pair of the best Ray-Ban sunglasses that are selling for $120 each. It's 120 Z-Bucks, or some Louis Vuitton purses, or some MacBook Pro apples or tablets, or cell phones, or Huggies diapers, or those power tools that you see over at Home Depot, right? That you can buy only on Z-Bucks. And so when for example, here's this pair of Ray-Bans, 120 Z-Bucks to get you those glasses. How much did a Z-Buck cost you? Didn't cost you anything, did it?
Nothing.
Cost you zero. And so one more thing here, this is really cool. So 3 weeks ago, we signed a contract with Royal Caribbean. Not this July, but a year from this July, this boat's leaving Southern Florida on a week cruise through the Caribbean. We took over the entire boat. The whole boat is going on Z-Bucks only. You want an inside cabin that sells for $500, it's 500 Z-Bucks. You want that outside cabin with the balcony, $2,200, 2,200 Z-Bucks, right? There's 2 presidential suites, $18,000, 18,000 Z-Bucks. People swipe their way to a free vacation. How much did a Z-Buck cost you again? Nothing. Our goal is to put one of these out every single quarter, and you can use Z-Bucks then to buy down other cruises, other vacations, hotel nights. I mean, the vastness of where this is going is huge. But to give people the ability to buy these on a flash sale, when it doesn't cost them anything whatsoever, it's amazing. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I love that. So we only got about 10 more minutes here. So I want to get into, I still can't believe this is real. Okay. Can you maybe speak to, I can't remember the exact term Richard and Peter used. I think it was some sort of like community partners. They talked about, he said he talked to Donald Trump and he got the Republican National Committee involved. I think he said he talked to Obama and got the Democrat National Committee involved, and then something with LeBron James. So can you kind of maybe speak? I don't know what you can and can't say. Is this something we're hoping for that is a large probability, or it's something that we're moving forward with, and we're going to literally have cards with Garth Brooks, Barack Obama, Make America Great Again, Ultra MAGA card. Oh my goodness. So John, this is like, is this legit? It looks like it to me. So maybe explain that to the people.
Yeah. So let me first say, so all these cards that you're seeing here, Visa has approved these cards. They're in process of being approved by Visa. There are 3 that have not been approved, and I need to point these out. There are 3 over here to the left that have the word woke on them. Visa did not approve those cards. So those are being redone. Those are being redone, right? But here's Make-A-Wish Foundation is extremely excited. They have 5 million followers, and they came to us and said, hey, can we utilize your Tranzact Visa card, put our logo on it, our communication. Anytime somebody swipes the card, they're making a donation to Make-A-Wish. And all those people get the benefits of the Tranzact card in the Z Club itself. LeBron James and his group, that contract is just about done. LeBron asked if he can sell his merchandise in the Z Club, and we said absolutely. Lady Gaga's foundation, Garth Brooks Foundation, some extremely large ministries in the United States. The RNC came in. The RNC referred us to the DNC because they said, hey, we all have to play in the same sandbox. This thing is so big, we all have to get along with one another. And they introduced us to the DNC and Obama, and they loved the program. But the RNC feels they're going to have 10 million cards in place before the 24 election. Wow. So every time somebody swipes the card, there's a donation to the RNC or the DNC or Make-A-Wish or Lady Gaga Foundation, and all the people get the benefit of the cards themselves, right? So now get this. So what happens is this. So here are all these millions and millions of customers coming on board into our company, and we don't have a house account. We give all of these customers away to you, to Ricardo, to Kevin, and all of the other digital branch offices. And every time they swipe the card, you make a piece of those transactions too. There's no house account. So every time that you go out and you build and you bring on board a new Tranzact card member, someone who spends $25 for the year that has all of the benefits we talked about, we're going to give you multiple Tranzact card members that comes out of this allotment for free. And every time that they swipe the card again, they're part of your group. You're making money on all of their swipes as well. So we've got a whole program in place to be able to reward you. Every time you bring customers on board, we're giving you multiple customers in return as a thank you that when they spend money, you're making money on all of that as well. It's a really great business model.
Yeah, that's wow. I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm kind of taken back at how massive that is. So can you maybe speak to why it's very important and beneficial to be one of the first 5,000 founders with the DBO?
Be happy to. Be happy to. Let me share my screen again here real quick. So what we did was this: we put together a program that we wanted to reward the first 5,000 individuals that came on board that opened up a digital branch office. So we put together what's called a Tranzact card member. It's a match program. So all of those customers that we talked about in that last slide that showed you all of those Visa debit cards from a number of them, and there are about 10 times of that right behind it that are waiting in line that want to do the exact same thing in white label, right? So what happens is this: if you're one of the first 5,000, and as of yesterday morning, we were about 1,500 digital branch offices, to give you an idea. We had a governor on this thing about 6 weeks ago. We took it off. We said, okay, now it's time to grow. We've grown from like 220 to nearly 1,500 in like about the last 6 weeks. Every day, sales have increased at an increasing rate, and then that arc is getting like this because we're setting new daily records, and the word is getting out. People are hearing about this, so here's this match program that you talked about. When somebody enrolls as a digital branch office, say they enroll 3 customers. Well, we're going to give them a 2-to-1. We're going to give them 6 more right now. They become a manager. They get a $500 rebate. They've got all the money. They got all the money back that they put in when they came in to become a digital branch office. They enroll 5 Tranzact card members. We're giving them 25. Say a year from now, someone's promoted to the rank of senior vice president within the compensation plan, and they enroll 10 Tranzact card members, users of the card itself. We're going to give them 500. So the ratios that we're going to give people are huge. So when you look at this, it's what's important. When we get to number 5,001, this whole program goes away. They enroll 1, we're going to give them 1. They enroll 1, we're going to give them. And that in its own right is amazing.
So that's
but
still
they won't
great.
have this. Yeah. But now get this. So they won't have this match. So here's what's happening to your point. The race is on. Leverage is what's in play now. How many of your people can you bring in between now and when the first 5,000 hit? Because the more people you can have in your group that's tied to your lineage into the 5,000, they all receive this amazing 5-to-1, 10-to-1, 20-to-1 match. These organizations are going to swell in size at an unbelievable rate. And every time all those people swipe the card, they earn income, and they're all going to fall within your 10 levels of unilevel. And when they get paid, it's all going to roll up within your 10 levels. There is a lot of income to be earned here in the whole plan, regardless of when you get in, but especially if you're one of the first 5,000. The race is on, and that's why so many people are coming in so hard. And we're attracting talent such as the 3 of you on this call here today, because they see that picture and they understand leverage.
Okay. Well, thank God I'm a founder. I didn't even know it was that massive of a deal. I knew there was some advantages, but yeah, that's unbelievable. Shoot, maybe the last thing, because I know this is heavy on our heart and especially Ricardo's. Can you maybe speak to the philanthropic and the overall mission of the Tranzact, specifically when it comes to minority-owned banks and helping out those communities who have typically historically been, underserved and have missed out on, the American dream?
I'd be happy to.
We'll end here, John.
Very good. Very good. One of the things that really drew me to Richard Smith and Peter Rancy was their heart, was their ability to see through the trees and put their hearts out there and really have a love of people and wanting to find a way to be able to give back. And part of this mission, part of the reasons we were able to put this together the way they did, if you remember when we opened up the call and I talked about working with a number of community banks out there, we could have gone to a lot of banks. We could have gone to the big bank, the big box banks out there and maybe have achieved the same thing. But the goal was, how do we go in and how do we help these community banks that are underfunded, a lot of these minority-owned banks that are underfunded? How do we give them a fair shot? How do we give them, on Wall Street today, if a big bank needs some more customers, they go write a big check into Wall Street. They go acquire their 50,000 customers or whatever it is. And these smaller banks just can't go do that. They need to get that tier one capital. And then here we put together this business plan along with them, where strategically it just works well for America. It works well for the underdog, the smaller one person who now has the ability to get in the fight and be able to be successful. And hey, we feel that we're going to have millions, tens of millions of customers, and all of those funds fall into the community banks, the minority owned banks, and they increase all their tier one capital. And that provides a lot of opportunity into all of those communities as well. So it's very exciting. Not only can anyone here who's listening to this come on board, own their own digital branch office, and be able to earn a substantial income in a number of different ways in building out their own digital branch office, but there's other ways outside of this, with working with community banks and what that facilitates within those individual smaller markets around the United States and what it actually means to those communities as well. So they're very philanthropic. We're looking for ways to be able to give back, and we'll continue to do a lot of that. We want to be a very philanthropic company, and all of us are. The cost of entering this company is there are no egos. We were here for the benefit of others, and what can we do to help other people who are more disadvantaged and help them out and put some light into their life.
I absolutely love that. And anyone who's followed us for any amount of time knows we're not typically big fans of banks, but it's still a necessary evil, I would say, during this time. So how can we use this system to help more people, to change the world, to bring power back to the people? So I absolutely love what you guys are doing. Ricardo, if you have any comments or questions, we still got like 1 or 2 minutes. Would love to just hear your thoughts on this. I know I've done a little deeper dive on this. Any excitement from what you're seeing or hearing today? You're unmuted.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. No. This is great. I'm glad that we had this Zoom, and thank you, John, for your time. So like I said earlier, we're always trying to find real valuable things that we can bring to our community. And if this is something that they're doing anyway, and now that, this system is around, that they can actually benefit from the Z-Bucks and the whole ecosystem that you created, to me, it seems like a no-brainer. It's just, you have to do something different. And now there are some things out here that can actually benefit you by just making the decision to do something different than what you've been doing in a system that doesn't help you anyway. Now there's a system that actually you can benefit from. So that makes sense.
Very good. Hey, Mike and Ricardo, let me quickly share with you, and then you go ahead and go in and back up. You can do what you're going to do. This tagline that I give to everybody. When I give you this tagline, every single person, they open up their door. They're receptive to what you have to say. They want to listen, right? And for those of you that are listening to this, write this down or go back and come back and write it down wherever you need to, because it's powerful. If I could show you a way how you could double your buying power without doing anything different, I want you to buy the same brands. I want you to buy the same quantities. I don't want you to make an adjustment whatsoever in what you're buying and how you're buying it. But if I could show you a way that you could double your buying power without making any changes to your life, would you give me 10 or 15 minutes to explain it to you? Everybody says yes. And they open up their mind. They're receptive to what you have to say. And who can say no to this? 50% off on all those exact same products, right? Or yeah, you can go back and earning your 1 or 2%, from your wallet today. There's never going to be a card ever again that you're going to pull out of your wallet other than this one, because the other ones can't even match dollar for dollar.
No, I'm excited to switch everything over and stop using credit and start getting 100% on everything I spend. And guys, there's so much more we didn't even get to. And we'll have all these videos, on our YouTube or in the Runners app. And we didn't even get to how they have this automatic savings setup, which I think is phenomenal because so many people struggle with saving money. I mean, you guys have just thought of everything. John, I could talk to you for another hour, and I'm sure we'll end up meeting and talking more. But I know I also have another meeting coming up here in 8 minutes, and as you as well. So thank you for your time. We're excited to get started with this, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Definitely.
Look forward to seeing everybody very soon. Thank you again. Appreciate you.
You better run when the runners run. Show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum. Markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton. Crypto, yeah, I got some.